A moment, find it. Technology, you either love it or hate it. Right? Rightio.
Just a bit sick of using it at the moment.
It's the way the world is at the moment, but isn't it, that we're having to use it, but I suppose that we can reach abroad as well, which is fantastic. All righty, let's get started. And hello and welcome to the Stylish Home Decorators Network October Meetup, Protect Your Money from You. My name is Sally Jess and I am the founder of the Stylish Home Decorator, and I'd like to sincerely thank you for joining us this evening, and a big warm welcome to our guest speaker, Sherri. Thank you. So I just want to go through the agenda. We've just gone through the welcome. Housekeeping, if we can just keep our microphones on mute until the end of the presentation in our question time. I'd love to have your videos on, but I completely understand if you can't have them on. I will just have a quick presentation and then we'll move on to our guest speaker, Sherri, from Essential Spending Planner, and then we will do the lucky attendee prize. So we have 2 prizes up for grabs today or this evening, and you must stay to the end of the meetup to be eligible, and then closing of the meeting. So ideally we'll be here for an hour, but if we do have more questions and you're all happy just to go a bit past the hour, I'm happy to stay on as long as Sherri is too. Okay, who is Sally Jess? Well, first and foremost, I am a mother of 3 to 2 beautiful boys, and, or I should say really 2 handsome boys and a gorgeous girl. I am a wife to a farmer. We live in Esk in Queensland, and we live on a large property where we call home for the past 18 years. So we grow sweet potato, we have beef cattle, and we're just in early stages of creating a Red Angus stud. So my background is finance, moving out of the corporate world, then sort of supporting my husband on the land and starting my beautiful family. So I've been in finance for, I'd say, maybe about 8 years. And then I actually help people discover how to create their interior design that matches their personality and creates the kind of comfortable feelings they want to experience inside their home. So everything within our home should have that feeling that we want to feel happy, cozy, content, etc. So my business started back in 2019, and how did I become an interior decorator? Well, I have always had a passion for interior decorating, but I'd like to share with you how I actually first got started. So I always felt alone, no matter how many friends I had, how hard I worked, who I spent time with. There was just always a feeling of being hollow inside. So I now know that I was actually lacking connection with in my life. So I was lacking connection with others, but most what was worse to me, that I was actually lacking connection with myself. So really, at the end of the day, I was just a stranger to myself. So no matter where I went or what I did, I could never feel actually completely comfortable. So the question to me actually became, how can I create a connection in myself so that I can start living a life where I'm not feeling anxious or stressed at all hours of the day? So I realized that by changing my external environment, I was able to change my internal environment. So by how did I actually do this? Well, it was by styling my bedroom, my office space, my kitchens, and every other area that I spent a large amount of time in. So I was able to change almost everything of my life by that. So instead of feeling exhausted and burnt out after a day's work, I felt lighter and happier thanks to my improved office space. Instead of feeling overwhelmed walking through the door at home, I felt welcomed and cozy by the splashes of colour and the feeling of freedom at home. And one of my favourites was, instead of feeling stressed and anxious about bringing guests over to my home, I would feel excited and proud to welcome people into my space. And that was quickly becoming all the buzz of my friends. So I felt happy and at peace with myself for the first time in a very long time. But my work was actually far over from that. So people started to actually ask me for styling tips. So I never actually went into styling my own spaces with the intention of becoming an interior decorator for other people. But when my friends started to ask me for help, it gave me the opportunity to start experimenting. So that's how I got into interior decorating. And our mission at the Stylish Home Decorator is to help as many people as possible to discover how they can create an interior design that matches their personality and that creates those comfortable feelings they want to experience in their home. So in conjunction with my business, I also have my Facebook group, the Stylish Home Decorators Network, which has a community of 1,141 men and women. It's just such a great achievement to actually know that I've got all these people, these members in my group, and they're actually coming because I'm the expert in what I do. So benefits of joining the group, we have monthly meetups like this. We have masterclasses. So our next masterclass is the 9th of November at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We have weekly home decor tips, styling tips, what's trending. We have hashtag themes as well. So we encourage our members to interact using these hashtags. And also get inspired and turn your decorating ideas into reality. So once you sort of, build that knowledge of how you can turn your house into a home by styling, it just becomes part of your everyday. So if you're not in my beautiful community, I would love for you to join us. So Anissa will pop the link into the chat box for us. So tonight I'm just going to briefly talk about the 3 key elements to creating a home that you love. And these 3 key elements are actually the foundation of styling your home. So positioning, colours, and emotional artifacts. So let's get started with the first step on how you can create a home you love. So positioning is the key. Choose a focal point. So never underestimate the power of a focal point in a room. Sometimes they appear naturally, such as a prominent window or a built-in fireplace mantle, while other times you can actually create them yourself. So this is like a feature wall or a piece of artwork or a spectacular sculpture. It can be anything really. It doesn't have to be those items. So whenever you choose your focal point, make a decision and stick with it, and you'll arrange your furniture around this as much as possible. Finding balance when arranging furniture. So balance is always an important part of interior decorating, and never more so when arranging furniture and other items in your living room. So consider both their size and also the placement of the various pieces, making sure that you're not grouping all the large or smaller pieces in one area or to one side, because this can actually make you feel that your room's a bit lopsided or a little unsettled. Who's actually walked into a room and you've had that real unsettling feeling because there's either like the colour or the furniture pieces, or you just don't get what the actual homeowner or the office is trying to project out as a comfortable, cozy place. Consider traffic flow. So one of the most important things is to also consider when you're arranging furniture is the traffic flow. So people shouldn't be tripping over other furniture pieces or each other or to pass through the room. So we need to create a clear pathway so people can walk from one end to the other without any difficulty. And also, I'm still learning on feng shui, but like having the chi come through, letting the energy flow through your home. So not putting blockers in the way of doorways, furniture pieces in the way of doorways, or covering the windows, etc. The more the merrier. So make an impact with multiples of single items. You can sprinkle a handful of smaller objects in the foreground for added interest without overpowering the primary display. And find balance, harmonise objects of different sizes and shapes with an asymmetrical arrangement. Balance also, you can do like a tall, large object with several smaller pieces nestled together to increase the actual arrangement's visual height, and overlap shapes to create layers. So choose items from the same colour palette and to unify unrelated objects too. The next step is select colours to reflect your energy. So who actually can walk into a room and, you know, see like a vibrant yellow lounge, and how does that actually feel to you? It sort of uplifts you. To me, yellow is like a happy joy, reminds me of the sunshine. So, you know, having those colours in your home that's going to project how you want to feel as well with inside. So colours can alter a person's mood, incite anger, evoke happiness, or call to mind feelings of indifference and sadness. So even so, most people don't spend a lot of time thinking about the effects of colour in their homes or offices. We should really start to incorporate that when we're actually planning to redesign or adding new pieces into our homes as well. So yeah, the colour and design in our homes should reflect the people who live inside, and also you should use colours wisely to create the intended atmosphere in each space. So colours that bring a positive energy to your home are yellow, blue, red, green, and pink. And embrace the things you love, emotional artifacts. So fall in love with your home by decorating with the things that actually make your heart sing. Finding a signature colour first and foremost. You know what actually looks best on you, and also what colours you love to wear. So seek out the same for your home colour scheme as well. Find colours that look good in your space and colours that you will want to come home to. So most people, most clients are actually spatial, and if you have a look in your wardrobe, you'll see most probably that those colours and the types of patternings will also be represented in your home somewhere. So just have a think about that and see whether you see a connection that way too. So define your mood. This is less about styling and more about how you actually want your room to feel like. Consider what materials, colours and furnishing you will help you actually project your chosen mood. So sparkling surfaces, rich colours and plush textures will have a sophisticated feeling to it. Casual cottons and canvases, natural textures and mid-tones will also come across as like a laid-back space and feeling. And bright colours will, flashy patterns and glossy surfaces project a happy energy. So pictures are the obvious choice. So show off the ones that you love and display pictures throughout your home. Turn a dull hallway into a space that's sort of a charming gallery with your favourite pictures. You can also you know, when you've got these images in your home, or you've actually got pieces, when you're looking at them, it sort of takes you back to that time that you actually had that photo taken, or when you're actually purchasing, you know, that home decor piece, and it's got a meaning to it as well. So it creates those feelings in the now. And display something meaningful. So show off something that tells your story. You know, it could be a collection of teacups or even jewelry that your grandma's given you. You could, you know, frame that up, or you can do so many things with your items. So just don't leave it in for storage and have it as your special piece when you only bring it out when, you know, you've got people visiting you. Put it on display so that you can actually enjoy that too. Building a home is creating a place that you feel safe, protected, cozy, and at peace, and proud to welcome other people into your home. So that is my presentation. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Now, just put share my screen again. I just wanted to make sure no one had any questions and I can see all these beautiful people. See, technology, sometimes it's your friend, sometimes it's not. So I would like to give a warm welcome to our guest speaker, Sherri, for attending this evening. Sherri is the owner of Essentials Spending Planner and is a certified spending planner. So Sherri is passionate about teaching money truths. Welcome, Sherri, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. I will stop sharing my screen and then you're able to do what you would like to do. You'll have to unmute. We can't hear you, lovey.
Okay, sorry about that.
Better.
Thank you. So first of all, I want you to see if you can see what my happy color is. What's my happy decorating color?
It's the turquoise, it's the blues.
It's the blues. I love
because that's calm, relaxed.
Yeah, I love the beautiful watercolors, the tropical watercolors. And it's funny because when I started my business, you know, I had heard about branding and things like that, but I really didn't know what that meant until I went and got my colors done. I did them when I was a young kid, when I was a teenager. And so I did my colors. And of course, the colors that I like and that I wear were colors that were my colors and ones that made me feel happy. And so actually my branding now is these colors. It's the teals and the blues. And my family room is done that. My family room is in those colors. And so, yeah, it's interesting. I didn't realize I was doing that. But it is, you decorate your surroundings and you dress with the colors that make you feel happy. So, okay, so yes, I'm Sherri Dumbrill. I'm from Brisbane, North Brisbane, and I am a happy spender. So these are some of my happy spenders. Now, just let me know, can you see the tiles of you guys on my screen? You can, okay. I'm just going to I'll just mute you guys. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm a happy spender, and then I'm also a wife and a mother of 5 children. So my husband and I, and then we have 5 children. My youngest is almost 20. And this was a trip that we took to the USA 2 years ago, coming on 2 years ago, before the world changed. And we were so glad that we got there because we went as a family. All my kids have spending plans, and we surprised my mother for her 80th birthday. So this was us at our family's annual Christmas talent show. And I don't know if you can tell what we did with the props, but we sang Aussie Jingle Bells. So that was really fun to do that. And so I love creating memories. To create memories, you have to have a plan. I love learning and I love teaching. And so those are the things that I do best. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about money. And nobody has money problems on purpose. And if you do, I'm just going to say it's not your fault. Because one, we weren't taught about that at school. Now I'm actually going to just stop sharing for a second. And I'm going to, sorry, I'm just going to, I'm going to change my screens and start sharing on another screen so that I can see you guys' faces. Let me just try that. Okay. Right, so can you see my screen now? Still? Yep. Okay, great. So yeah, so people lose control of their money because they just don't realize they're overcommitting. And that's one of the main problems with the budget is it tells you it's possible to pay your bills. And it's guessing that you can pay your bills, but it doesn't really give you that 100% clarity that you can. And so we often can overcommit, but also you simply don't know what you don't know. And that's what I do is I teach, number one, I teach financial literacy because we weren't taught in school. And so I teach that as well as a great proven tool and tools to help people. I base everything on telling the truth and on being honest, because money is something that you can be 100% honest about. 1 + 1 is 2. And so we need to understand what our money truth is, how much is coming into our home. But unfortunately, budgets don't tell us the whole truth. Again, it guesses and it says it's possible. So it's really important to find a system that's going to tell you the truth about your money. Once you know the truth, then you need to actually be honest and follow that truth. Okay, and not worry about keeping up with the neighbors or anybody else. That you have your income and you need to keep within that. And so those are really two important concepts that I base everything on. So where are you going? Where are you going currently financially? Do you have goals? I talk to a lot of people, they don't even have a goal, or their goal might be they just want to eliminate money stress and then anxiety that they get when they think about money, or that discord that they have with their spouse or their partner. So you have to have a reason. And so wherever you're going now can change. Okay, we just have to alter that a bit. This is I'm going to take you on a journey, and basically we're going to go to the top of that mountain and go skiing. Okay, so again, you have to have a reason why you want to be better with money. Otherwise, you'll just waste your money on this and that. And so to get to that, with the analogy of a car and driving, when we want to go to the mountains, we look out the windscreen and we look ahead. We look into the future. And then we have a rear view mirror, which is that's the past. We're actually looking where we have been. Now, I equate this to looking to the future is what I teach. That's a spending plan. We're planning, okay, because when you plan something, it hasn't happened yet. You're planning your spending in the future. When you're looking in the past, or in the rear view mirror, you're looking in the past of where you spent your money. Now, I've never heard anyone say, I wish I would have spent more money last month, or I wish I would have spent more money last year. So there's a reason to look in the past, but a quick reason, just quickly look back, and generally it said, yeah, I want to do better. But we need to focus our efforts on looking into the future, because that's where our money success is. It's not in the past. I talk a lot about needs, wants, and really wants. Welcome, JM, Marie. So we all have needs, we all have things we have to pay for. And I'm a really big thing that we have to make sure we organize money for them and we take care of those things first. Then the second area is we have to get what we want. We have to have goals. We have to have what we want to save for. We don't work just to pay our bills. And if you don't have a goal, and if you don't know really what your needs are, then you'll end up wasting a lot of money on your wants or what you think you want. And then you'll whinge and complain. You don't get what you really want. So again, with finances, it's all a choice. Financial freedom is a choice, not a gift. Even people who are given money, they still have to make choices to keep that money or to invest that money. So I go right back to the very basics in trying to get our needs and the cost of our needs as little as possible, which includes calling your providers and asking for a better deal. I currently am refinancing my investment house because my bank, who I can call them every 3 months, is not, the last 2 times they haven't given me a better rate. Yet I know there's other ones out there. So if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. So if you ask, if that's the quickest way to save money, is call them all and say, hey, I'm creating a spending plan. I need to cut costs. What can you do? And 9 times out of 10, they will give you a better deal. But most people just don't take the time to do that. You should be doing that at least every year. And with your insurances, you never pay insurance without calling them first. So those are just a few tips. Okay, now why isn't my screen going? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the 6 types of expenses. So there's 6 ways we spend our money. Anything you spend your money on, you can slot into one of these areas. The first one is your weekly expenses. So that's your discretionary, your spending that you do every pay cycle. Okay, we have to have food, petrol in the car, have some fun and little incidentals that happen along the, within the week. So that's our weekly expenses. Then we have our regular predictable bills. Those are the electricity, the water, your rent, your mortgage, all those regular things. If you're in part of a gym, your gym membership, anything that occurs on a regular basis. And that happens within a 12-month period. Okay, so your weekly expenses or pay cycle expenses happen within a week or a fortnight, depending on when you get paid. And then the regular expenses all happen within a year. So those are a lot of your, all your predictable bills. Then we have the products and product purchases, things we buy. Now those can be things we need or things we want. Now at this point is when we all tend to put our head in the sand and think, okay, we bought it, but don't realize that we need to maybe repair it or eventually replace it. And so, and that's really big, especially when it comes to buying your first car. You think, oh, it's only $20,000. Yet that $20,000 is going to be the cheapest, the least amount that you spend on that transport over the time you have it, between petrol and insurance and registration and servicing and unexpected repairs. So we have to get our head out and be honest again. And I'll say that a lot. We have to be honest with what it costs us for our life and to take care and maintain our purchases. So we need to have something, a plan to repair the things we buy. Then eventually we have to replace them. Your refrigerator doesn't last a lifetime, your computer, your TV, and all those things. So we have to have a plan for that. Then, of course, we need to have a plan for the once in a lifetime things, getting an education, getting married, having children, getting your first home, going on that holiday, retirement, but all those things that usually just happen once or twice in your lifetime. And so all these different areas all have to do with basically the timing of when you spend that money. So we have our weekly expenses, which is within your pay cycle. We have your bills, which is all the things happen within a year. Things and wants, they happen, throughout the time, depending on how much they cost. Then repairs, hopefully that doesn't happen as often. And replacement, of course, that's a little less often. And then we have our wants and which is further. And so timing has to do with when you spend all these different things, when you need to spend them. So the effective bank structure that I'm going to talk about tonight has to do with timing. And so the accounts and what comes out of each of the accounts, it all relates to timing. So I'm going to teach you how to protect your money from you from the very basic foundation, which is bank account structure. When we were younger, we had a bank account that was given to us, and usually a bank account and a savings account. And that's what the bank gave you, and that's all they wanted you to have. And that's because they knew that that wasn't the smartest banking structure, because they want you to overspend and do that so that you come back to them for a bank card, credit card, or a personal loan. So when someone took, and I'll show you the bank structure that I teach, when someone took my bank structure sheet to go and rearrange their bank accounts, the bank manager said, "Where did you get this?" And she goes, "Oh, from my spending planner." And he goes, "Okay, stick with her, because that's how we do our banking, but we don't tell our customers that." And that was quite sad. But there again, when we receive a bank statement from the bank, it's not for our benefit. It's their record keeping. They just are sending to us to make us feel like it is and that we're important. But really that number on that bank statement, especially if you have the one account and it has all your bill money, your food money, your savings money, your emergency money in it, that number means nothing. Okay. And so that's where with the spending plan, we actually know, and it helps us know what we have for each of the things. Now, if you have any questions, please just raise your hand or put something in the comments. So just going to talk about the 3 pigs. So we can relate to piggy banks, piggies. So we have the 3 pigs, the one who built his house for straw. So if you can imagine, if that held money, it's pretty flimsy. Money wouldn't stay there very long. So that's the account where we have our food, fuel, fun, and incidentals. That's our weekly pay cycle account. Okay, and then the next one is stick home. So that's a bit more sturdier. So the money stays in there a bit longer, stays up to a year within that account. Because as you're saving, and what the spending plan is doing is you're saving for all your bills and expenses that happen in the next year in that account. And that is where your income goes in. Generally, your income would go in. Most people would put it into their spending account, or what they would spend their food on. But that's a bit dangerous. Again, we're protecting your money from you because we want to ensure that your first things are done first, which is paying your bills before you go out and start buying fun things or having fun, or even food, because we can waste a lot of money on food. And so then the next one is the pig that built the brick house. And whenever you're saving for something big, the money stays in there, usually more than a year as you're saving for it. And so that's the savings account. Then we have the big bad wolf. We know the big bad wolf came. They didn't know when he was coming, but he did come, and he will come to your house too. He's probably already come. He might have even come this month, but we have to be prepared for when he comes. Okay. So this is the bank structure that I teach. So if you have a business, number one rule, you have to keep your business your business finances totally separate from your personal. Okay, they're two separate things. Even if you have an investment, we have an investment that has its own account, it's totally separate. Okay, because if you have an investment, that is like having a business. So first of all, you need to keep that separate. You need to have a business account and a tax account, a separate tax account, because you need to pay the tax man. You don't want to be caught out. Money goes, all money that comes into your home goes into the bill account. Okay, now some people have different accounts, his account, her account, they do their things separate. You pay for this, you pay for that. With the spending plan, we want to be unified. All money goes into the one account, which is the bill account. Now, with the tool that I use, it will calculate what needs to stay there to pay for all your bills for the next year, and how much you can, and what the amount is that you can actually transfer out to others. So that bill account becomes sacred. Money comes in and just stays there until it's ready to pay your bills. Okay, as opposed to going into the spending account first and then you manually transferring it to a bill account. What if you have a weak week and you think, nah, I'm not going to transfer that this week, or, or I'm only going to put half. Where again, first things first, we have to be truthful. That's what it costs us to live. Let's not put our head in the sand and set up the system. And everything here that you see is automated. So I don't even touch my finances. So the money goes into the bill account and it just sits there. We only keep the right amount in the bill account, and the plan that I use tells you exactly to the dollar how much you need to keep in there, because we don't want to tie up money sitting in a bill account that it doesn't need. Then we go to, let me just see where, yeah, so that's the bill account. Now with the bill account, you have a debit card attached to that, but you do not carry that with you. Can anyone imagine why we wouldn't carry that with us? If you're saving for all your bills and expenses for the next 12 months, there's going to be a bit of money in there. And if you carry that card around and you see those cute pair of red shoes or that cute home decor, then you might be a bit tempted to do that. So again, we have to set up parameters to protect your money from you. So that's the bill account. Again, we need to get our head out of the sand and know how much your expenses cost for you to live and be putting money away. The way to pay bills and the way the spending plan is it will say, hey, you have money for your electricity bill. It must be coming in the mail soon, as opposed to, ooh, I got a bill in the mail for my electricity. Ooh, where am I going to find the money? So it's a total different way of thinking, because we're planning ahead. We're not living in the moment or focusing, counting how much we spent in the past. So a common budget format is actually useless in the sense, I mean, it's not being real. It's saying it's possible. And it always starts with income at the top and then list your expenses, where really most of us found out in 2020 and 2021 that it's more the expenses that make a difference, not your income. I had clients, they were both airline pilots, made a lot of money each month. And then they went down to the job keeper for $1,500. And they had an expense problem because they had so many expenses coming out. So we keep the money in the bill account for all your bills and expenses so it can leverage off each other. Rather than giving it away early to the paying your bills on a monthly installment basis, you keep it. Now remember, you're going to be honest with your finances, so that bill account is going to be sacred. So you're not going to be dipping into that. You know that you just leave that alone. You don't carry that card. So you're using your own money to leverage paying your own bills that might come sooner than later. Okay, the next one is the FFFI, the food, fuel, fun, and incidentals. And that's the money that you decide how much you're going to spend for your pay cycle, and it's automatically transferred over on a certain day a week, and you spend that until it's zero. Okay, there is no wondering how much do I have to keep in here because I have an automatic debit coming out here or this. that's your money to spend. You're giving yourself a boundary. As you can see, they all have boundaries or parameters around them. So you just make sure you get your food, your basic food, and your petrol in your car before you go out and doing your fun and your fast food. And so that account is a really good one. That's the only card you carry, is that FFFI card. Okay, so that's basically food, fuel, fun, and incidentals come out of that card. And food is the biggest. We waste so much money on food, and I'm sure some of you have, some of it ends up in the bin because you buy veggies with good idea, I'm going to cook all this stuff, and then it sits there and it rots and you end up throwing it away. So having a meal plan is really important. That's one area that you can really cut costs. The next one is the Big Bad Wolf account. That is for those unexpected, unplanned expenses. And I'm talking the emergency things. You know, like you get in a car accident and it's your fault, you have the excess, which is, mine's like $950, because I would prefer a higher excess than a lower excess and pay bigger premiums every year for 30 years. I've only had one car accident. And so if I would have had a low premium for 32 years, I would have wasted a lot of money. And I do that on all my insurances because we're not accident prone. If you're accident prone, then you're probably best to have a high premium. So the Big Bad Wolf is there for just those real emergencies. If you need to have a plumber come in, most Australians don't even have $400 in an account to pay for a plumber, and that's essential. You need that, or any unexpected bigger medical expenses. So become a seed planter and plan that, yes, the Big Bad Wolf's going to come, so that when he comes, you're not putting out fires and trying to fend him off. Again, it's all about being truthful, knowing your money truth, and being honest. Long-term savings. Okay, this is part of, if you need to repair anything, that usually comes out of the Big Bad Wolf, and that's repair your essential things. Then we have the replacing. And so that's when you need to replace things. So for example, we got a new kitchen 3 years ago because we had termite damage in my kitchen. So we had to rebuild our kitchen, all new appliances. And so we now have all brand new appliances. And guess what? They're probably all going to die at the same time in 10 years. But that's no stress on us, because I know I'm already putting away. It's only a few dollars a week, so that when that happens, I have the money. And sometimes I may not have the perfect amount, but I'll have majority of it. And so again, it's getting my head out of the sand and realizing, hey, this is going to happen in the future. Why not plan for it? Because what I'm doing is I have zero money stress. And it's not that we have, my husband makes lots and lots of money. He has a moderate wage. I was a stay-at-home mom for 27 years, raising our 5 children. I've only started my business 4 years ago. And so we just learned how to be frugal and how to be honest with our money. Then we have our savings account. You have to have something you really want. And so the savings account is what that's for. Now, if you can imagine, the Big Bad Wolf is the best friend to your savings account, because if you're planning on going on a holiday and booking a holiday, and then 2 weeks before you're going to pay for it, your car blows up, yet you need your car, you have 2 choices. Do I raid my savings account? Or do I put it on credit or get a loan? But if you have a Big Bad Wolf account, no worries. And I say to have $2,000 in there, and $2,000 will usually cover a couple $1,000 emergencies at any time. And so you can go on your holiday because you were prepared for the unexpected. Okay, so, and then the emergency fund, that is for, I call it now the COVID account. When everything goes belly up, you lose your job, you become disabled, and you need to have money in an account. That's the very basics that covers your, I'm talking your very, very basics. If you had a child who needed a surgery that cost $100,000, you had to come up with cash, what things would you cut out of your spending? That's the number we want. And we want at least 3 months worth of that basic money in that account. So that's how you protect your money from you. So budgeting is broken. It just shows you it's possible to pay your bills. It's two-dimensional, focuses more on income, but doesn't show you how. Where a spending plan compares more, it focuses more on your expenses, and then adds that third dimension of timing. So you put in the timing of your income, the timing of your expenses, the dates when it's all due, and it takes those bits of information and it creates your future spending year, your perfect spending year, like having a crystal ball, and you can actually see your bank balances for the next 12 months and whether you're going to be short at any time. Because if you're short, say in 6 months' time, guess what? It hasn't occurred yet, so you can make a plan and make a change. It also then tells you exactly step by step how to do it. It's so easy, a spending plan, as opposed to a budget where you're guessing. So the difference between a budget and a spending plan, it's timing. It's about time. And for all of us, it's about time that we spend some time, give ourselves emotional permission to put time into organizing our finances. And those things that you really want, yes. I mean, we flew my sister over. She was an interior decorator. We flew her over from the States to decorate our home. And boy, I still can't go into a home shop because for 2 weeks we went to every home decor shop in Brisbane. But we had planned for that. And so I could spend guilt-free. I was a happy spender. So a spending plan predicts the future and shows you how to pay your bills, not that it's just possible. And how would you feel if you knew all your expenses were covered for the next 12 months, that 100% you knew? That would feel great. And that's what I feel. Everything's automated because I know that money's going to be in my bill account for all my expenses. So I just take it. I direct debit everything because I know, because my plan tells me all my ideal balances for the next 12 months. And last, when in the software, and the software is only $10 a month, which is the best investment. This is showing you your future, where you're going to spend your money in the future, where a budget would have said, this is where you spent your money in the past. The past is the past. You can't change that. This you can. So if you see, oh, I'm spending way too much on food, you can make a change because you haven't spent that yet. And you give every dollar a job. We want to make sure every hard-earned dollar that you do is going for what you really want. We want you to get what you really want. We want you to be able to create that home and that environment and decorate it so that you feel loved and you feel at home in your home. So how much money is going to leak from your wallet in the next 6 to 12 months if you don't make a change? My favorite saying since a teenager is, if you don't change directions, you will arrive at where you're going. And so where are you going? Is it where you want to go? Or do you need to change directions, or maybe change your money management system and be more curious about how you can benefit from a spending plan and ditch budgeting like I did 19 years ago. I did that. And so it has made all the difference. Multiply your time and money by giving yourself emotional permission. And that's what it is. We have to give ourselves permission to invest money and time today for more tomorrow. And it's like anything in our life. If you want something, you have to take time out, make it a priority, get it organized. And with a spending plan, if you just invest some time, then you can enjoy more time and money into the future. Like say, I spend probably 10 minutes a month on my finances, and that's it, because I've already put in that hard work, which only takes probably 4 or 5 hours. Okay, so that is it. If anyone has any questions or anything that they learned or saw that they thought, wow, I'm going to go and I'm going to implement that, because I've given you a lot of value tonight. This is what I teach people. This is one of the first things I teach them is in my course. And but yeah, I love to just teach people the basics, because bank structure is where you're going to protect your money from you. So any questions or comments?
I will say something. So you were talking before about, instead of, a lot of people would actually set up a monthly payment going towards a bill. So do you recommend that, or do you recommend putting it into the account, the bills account, and having it taken out when the bill's due?
Yeah, so what happens is, in the spending plan, and you only enter it in once. A budget, you usually have to redo it. People redo their budget every month or every year. With the spending plan, I did it 19 years ago. And every time that I monitor it, which is like 10 minutes a month, I'm always seeing 12 minutes in advance.
Yeah.
And so what we're putting in is, we're just putting in the amount the bill is, or the expenses, the frequency of that expense, and the next date it's due. Those are the three pieces of mathematical numbers we're putting into the system. It will then create a timeline, and you're perfect. It will even show your future bank statement in the software, so that you can see that everything's going to be taken care of. So we're not putting installments in, we're putting the full amount, because isn't it the full amount that you need to pay when that bill's due? It's not the installment number. And people give away their money to the companies. They then invest it. Number one, they're charging you way too much, because chances are you're not even calling and asking for a better deal. Then they're investing it because you're giving it to them sooner than they deserve it. And then they're investing it. So keeping it in your own bill account allows for maybe a bill that's coming up shortly. You can pay with that because you're already putting money away for all your bills later in the year. So you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You are both Peter and Paul, and you become friends. And so, yes, I do not give any money away. I do not give it away early. I do not give it away late. I give it away just on time. And my spending plan will say, hey, it's time to spend, to pay that, which mine's automated anyway. So I don't even, it just gets paid. So, and I never pay late fees or anything like that. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And what about if, the days of when you put a percentage of your wage into your savings account? Is that such a thing anymore, or?
Well, for me, I just have a certain amount, because in the, let me just get back to the, see if I can find this. For me, the savings account, the big bad wolf, the long-term savings, it tells me kind of what I need to put in there, because I have in there, hey, my fridge is, I want to replace it every 10 years. It's 7 years old now. So it will tell me how much I need to put in to ensure that's, and so I get a certain one number, and it will say, as long as you put this much into that long-term savings every pay, when those things come up, you'll have the money.
Yeah.
And so, now I just lost my train of thought. So yeah, so for that one, it tells me how much. For the other ones, I just put a certain amount. For me, it was $50 a week. I would just put it in, and I would build up my big bad wolf to 2,000. That's the minimum. And yeah, and it's automated. So you don't have a choice whether you're going to put it in, because there again, we need to take away that choice. We need to take away that opportunity to sabotage our plan. Yeah. So it's a certain, but you can do it on percentage. If you have a varying wage, that's perfect with the spending plan, because you never have to use a calculator again. It refigures everything. If you change anything in the plan, it will recalculate it and show you your perfect spending year as well.
Wow, sounds like an amazing system.
It is. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because so many people struggle with money stress, and you don't have to.
Yeah. And I think I love the idea that you call it a spending plan, because having that budget, it doesn't work for you really once you've explained all this. And I think, I don't think I'm ever going to budget in my life again.
No, and it's a bad word. It's a negative word where, I teach people how to become a happy spender. I'm a happy spender because I plan my spending. I save for it. My system's saving it for me. And then I spend happily. I have no regrets, no buyer's remorse or nothing. I can go out and spend and really enjoy it.
Absolutely. Thank you. I just see that Beck K has put a message there. How to capture variances between summer and winter costs, etc. like
Yep.
power.
Yep, easy. So we just put in, because you put one transaction in for every, so electricity, you could put it in as one transaction for the year if it's the same throughout the year. There's 3 quarters or 4 quarters. But then there's your summer one. So then you just put 2 in. You put a summer one, then you put in one for winter, or I even put one in for every quarter, every term. Put this in. This is what it is usually, electricity summer, electricity winter, and put the amount. Because yes, especially in Queensland, our electricity goes up in the summer. So yeah, it caters for everything. Again, it caters for fluctuating income. It tells you even if you have too much money in the bill account, which is quite exciting. It's like a lucky dip every time if you saved on a bill. And it's great for kids. Kids, this is how much we budgeted, we planned for electricity. If you are light Nazis and turn off the lights for the next 3 months, then when that bill comes in and we can see, the plan will tell us that we have excess money. And guess what? We're going to go out to dinner. We're going to go to Dream World. And so it gets the kids involved. I'm really a big advocate of teaching your kids because they're not being taught in school. And if you don't teach them, well, you are teaching them by your example, but what are they learning from your example? So we need to really empower our children. And I do actually a meetup, and I do I have a about kids and money, 7 things to teach, 17 before 18, 17 money truths to teach your children before they're 18 and leave home. We need to empower them.
Amazing. We might get you to drop your Facebook group or your page into the comments. So
yes,
the attendees can, but we'll also pop it into a email in the next couple of days. But if you could do that now so that they can connect with you, that would be amazing. Thank you, Sherri. That was so enlightening as well to actually, see how you can turn it around as a spending planner and focus on your expenses rather than your income.
Yes.
I think we've all got a takeaway, right?
Yeah. And my Facebook group is called Happy Spenders Beyond Budgeting. So we go beyond budgeting because we add in that timing.
Yeah. All righty. Has anyone got any more questions for Sherri? Okay, I'll just share my screen again. Okay, this is a lucky attendee prize time. So Sherri has her prize as a one-on-one spending planner session. Amazing. Thank you, Sherri. That's going to be awesome for whoever wins that. And obviously the Stylish Home Decorator is going to do a 30-minute home style strategy call as well. So I will stop sharing this screen to share another screen.
And if I can just explain what that entails.
Yes, please.
Basically, we're going to go into a spending plan and we're going to enter just your basic expenses. Okay, all the expenses, the basic ones, rent, food, all those basic ones, and you'll be able to see what your next spending year just with your basics. And one, it's going to tell you how much it costs you, but it will give you an idea how it works. So then you think, wow, what if I put all my expenses in there? And so, yeah, so that was what you'll get. And I'll print a report for you as well that will have that.
Okay, let's share this screen so everybody can see the magic wheel spinning around. So everybody's name's on there. So we'll do Sherri's prize first. So good luck, everybody. Should have some music going to it. And the winner is Marie. Congratulations, Marie. We will send your email address through to Sherry so she can touch base with you and you can connect and get a scheduled time.
Now, actually, I have met with Marie before, so I'm
okay.
happy to give her another little 30 session, but I'm happy for you to have someone who hasn't had a session with me to do that.
Okay, rightio. Perfect. Thank you. How about Emily? Congratulations, Emily. Amazing. Okay. And the 30-minute home style strategy call. Oh my goodness, Emily. Oh, congratulations. Thank you, Emily. We'll be in touch. It must be. It was meant to be. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me go back sharing my screens again. Okay. So I'd just like to leave you with this thought before we go. So surround yourself with things that you love. Your space should be a reflection of who you are, the way you live, and it should make you feel good. So I really hope you've enjoyed this time with Sherry and myself this evening and you got value out of it and you can use moving forward. Next month, we'll be hosting a special meetup, which will be a panel of 3, and we have some beautiful co-hosts, Patricia, who is a real estate agent, and Claire Amanda is a wellness coach, but she'll be talking on crystals and how we can use them within our homes to clear negative energy. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening. It's been a pleasure to share this space with you for you know, an hour, and a big thank you to Sherry for spending time with us. So that is it for tonight's meetup. Thank you so much for joining. Anissa, are we going to take a picture? Yes. So is everybody able just to turn their cameras on briefly, please, so we can take a picture of the attendees, and we just use this as promotional images so that we can share with people how amazing our meetups are.
Okay, let me take a picture. 1, 2, 3, smile, guys. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Emily, have an amazing day, and we will be in touch with you.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. I can't believe I won both, so thank you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely rest of well, have a lovely evening. See you later.
Yes, we will. See you another time.
So thank you, Sally.
Thank you. It was a pleasure having you join us.